Today I'll be making some pan-fried marinated pork chops along with a 3-cheese pasta bake and a green salad. And I just love this marinade. It's to make some of the best pork chops. Here's a quick look at what I'll be cooking today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell to be notified when there's new videos. Comments welcome. Thank you. Here's a quick list of ingredients, or you can check out the description below. To get started, I'm going to dry brine the pork chops. I'm doing this several hours ahead. And what I'm doing here is I have 1.5 pounds of meat, so I'm measuring out 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt per pound. So that's 1.5 teaspoons. And then I just wrap it in plastic wrap and stick it in the refrigerator for a few hours. More the better. After that, I'm going to marinate the pork chops. I'm going to mix up the marinade here. And you can see that all the salt has been absorbed into the meat. So I'm just going to place the chops into a gallon Ziploc freezer bag. I like to use the bags more than a bowl or a dish, but that's up to you. And you do want to marinate this for at least an hour, probably. Longer is better, but not too long. I mean, probably not over 12 hours. Mix it up well, dump it in the bag, and seal it up and smush it all around, make sure they're well coated. And while it's in the refrigerator, I like to flip it over every so often. So about an hour or so before dinner, I started out measuring out the pasta. I'm using rotini, and I was a little short, so I used some macaroni too. I set the pot of water on to boil, add some salt. Once the water is up to a rolling boil, we'll add the pasta. Just stir it around a bit with our pasta spoon. And once it gets back up to a boil, we'll start the timer according to package directions. Just 9 minutes here. While the pasta is cooking, I'm going to prep the sauce for the 3-cheese bake. It's really simple sauce, just 1 can of a cream, whatever soup. I'm using cream of mushroom, and I'm using unsalted, so I will add some salt later. If you're using just a regular soup, you shouldn't need to salt this at all. Should have plenty of salt. So the soup and a cup of milk. Alright, now just measure out the cheese there and get that ready. So it's been about 9 minutes now. Check the pasta. It's good to go. So we'll take that off and we'll drain it in the sink and then dump it into our baking dish. And I like to mix this all in the dish again just to save on having to wash a bowl. Mix it a little bit and then get our cheese in there. And I'm using the pre-shredded in a Mexican blend. But you can use cheddar or mozzarella or whatever you like. It's all good. Pepper jack, that's a good combo. So I'm just going to taste it here and see if I'm going to add some salt, because like I said, I use the unsalted soup, so you shouldn't need to do that. All right, and then we're going to top it with some cheese and some of these crispy fried onions and some bacon crumbs, and then a little more cheese. Then I'm going to cover it so it doesn't burn in the oven. And I did spray that foil on the inside so it doesn't stick. Preheat the oven to 400 here. Alright. Now we'll just make up our green salads. We like to use romaine lettuce or romaine hearts. tomatoes, just Roman tomatoes, and I had some extra, some leftover from the night before. English cucumber, which we had left over again, some radishes, and now some red bell pepper, black olives sliced. Before I put the black olives, I don't like to put some cheese on there, so Mexican blend again, and the black olives so you can actually see them. And I'll top that with some bacon crumbles. Okay, the oven's ready, so we'll throw that casserole in. Set the timer for 30 minutes. It's been about 15 minutes since I put the casserole in. So I'm going to start on the pork chops here. Get the pan heating up. It only takes like 15 minutes to cook these. So, they go pretty quick. I like to use some of the leftover the marinade to keep basting them with it. If you do this, though, you have to make sure you do cook that marinade again because it's been soaking in the raw meat. So. Don't put it on at the end after you take them out. Yeah, that one pork chop's a little smaller, so I took it out early. It was already done. So check on the casserole. This is after 30 minutes. So we're about up to 150, 52. Ooh. So we're going to put it back in for 10 more minutes and let it brown up a little bit. Alright, let's check these again. They're good and done now. Probably a little overdone. You could pull them at 145, but we like them a little dunner, but still nice and juicy here. Got good color on both sides. They look lovely. Alright, and it's been 10 more minutes on this casserole. Check it here. Yeah, well, good and done. I'm at 185. Nice and browned on the top. So we got our 3 cheese bake, our pork chops, and the rest, our green salads, and the rest of it. Everything looks fantastic. Let's just check out and see now how nice and creamy and gooey this is. Look at that. Get some on my plate. Camera guy is not very good at following the action. I love it when this cheese just strings off like that. Alright, so here's my plate. I'll just try it out. Oh yes, very good. So good here. Of course I would say that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell to be notified when new videos are posted.